Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and as I'm sitting here talking to you, it is essentially a day before the 2024 presidential election on November 5th. And what we've seen, quite frankly, is an absolute ton of disinformation flying around in many, many different forms. One of the day jobs that we have here, at my company is disinformation research and all of that. And what I'm about to talk about is actually some videos that recently came to light, basically deepfakes that have been reviewed by multiple people, including the FBI, and there was a really good write-up on this by Derek Johnson of Cyberscoop, and I, for the record, have personally seen these videos, and honestly, they're pretty good. Now, here's what's happening. The FBI, the actual FBI, for the record, is warning that a pair of videos circulating online that purport to be from the Bureau are actually fake. Now, this includes one making false claims about arresting groups linked to the Democratic Party for ballot fraud. Vice President Harris obviously is a Democratic nominee for president, as Donald J. Trump is the nominee for the Republicans. Quote, the FBI is aware of two videos falsely claiming to be from the FBI related to election security, one stating the FBI has apprehended linked groups committing ballot fraud, and the second is relating to the second gentleman. That would be Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, and this is according to the FBI this past Saturday. Now, in one of the videos here, basically a voice plays over still photos of individuals wearing FBI shirts and other images claiming that, quote, 3 linked groups have been apprehended for rigging early voting by mail-in ballots, end quote. Now, video also goes on to claim that the lists of recently deceased U.S. citizens and Americans over the age of 90 were used for, quote, electoral falsification, end quote. In other words, people over 90 or the dead have risen and they're voting Democrat. Now, it also includes supposed quotes from the investigative journalist Elliot Higgins, who I have read a lot of his stuff. He works for Bellingcat, which is an organization that uses open source research techniques to debunk false narratives and has been a constant thorn in the side of the Russian government. And quite frankly, yeah, Bellingcat actually has, and I think Bellingcat does good work. We're niche, they're doing a lot more. So with that, in this video, Higgins is quoted as saying, and I quote, "We have seen this before in 2020, end quote. And while the FBI did a quote unquote great job then, and I quote again, that does not mean the election will be transparent and honest, end quote. Now, the video ends by claiming, and I quote again, we don't know how many such groups acting on behalf of the Democrats there are still in the United States, end quote. Now, Cyberscoop reached out to Higgins, although through Bellingcat for a comment. Cyberscoop, for the record, did not view the video related to Doug Emhoff, that's Vice President Kamala Harris's husband. I have, for the record, but a description provided, basically for this, and this is an accurate description, basically described it as a video depicting the FBI claiming that they will not investigate unspecified ties between Emhoff and a major government contractor, while claiming, quote, any manipulation on this topic is interference in the elections, end quote. That is accurate to the video that I saw. Now, the FBI said both videos and their underlying claims are fake. Now, quote, these videos are not authentic and are not from the FBI, and depictions are false. Now, this is the kind of stuff that we are going to be continuously seeing. This is exactly what Russian intelligence does, and all indicators so far that have been viewed and by those researchers that are looking at this stinks of essentially a Russian intelligence campaign. I'm immediately going to get flack for that simply by saying that, but the fact of the matter is it's absolutely true. Like, we knew the address of the Internet Research Agency started by Yevgeny Prigozhin. Like, we have every single ad, about 3,500 to 3,800 of these, that you can go view online. This is what they do. And by virtue of it, they're not the only ones. There's demonstrably false information out there, whether it's an intelligence agency with a purpose, somebody that just wants to make a name for themselves by making outrageous claims. But the problem that we have here, and this is the absolute problem, is that nobody, for the most part, is vetting this information, especially if you're ardently political or have some deep confirmation bias on the left or the right. The FBI coming out independently and saying these are fake basically one, you're going to have Democrats that say it's fake automatically, even maybe if it was true, but you're also going to have those on the other side that say it's absolutely true no matter what because it feels right. It confirms what I think the Democrats are actually doing, in the same way a fake video about Trump at some point could confirm what Democrats think Trump is doing. So this is what I'm talking about. And these are the problems that we are going to have in this election. This is literally tomorrow. And at this point, something like 80 million of us have already voted in early voting. It is going to be a huge election. Fortunately, by virtue of essentially the streamlining process since the pandemic in 2020, the vote count should be faster than it was for this presidential election than it was in 2020. But nevertheless, we're probably not necessarily going to know who the president is on Tuesday, which opens up a window to drop in demonstrably false information that is designed to drive a wedge into the electorate. So my advice to all of us is, one, if you're viewing these kinds of videos and it is really confirming something like I knew he or she was scummy or whatever it is, take a step back, review it, validate that it's clean. Half the time a 30-second Google search can tell you if it's fake or not. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're educating yourself. Put a filter of distrust to the information you're going to see. And the other thing is, everybody needs to take a step back. We essentially need to basically just let it unfold, let the count be the count, etc., etc. And so by virtue of that, let the election workers do their job. Don't get riled up. At the end of the day, once all the votes are counted, we're going to know who the president is. And so or the next president, I should say. So by virtue of that, let's all just chill. And remember, at the same time, at the end of the day, I don't care if you're a Trump supporter, you're a Harris supporter, or you're a supporter of neither. We all have to live together in this country. We're all in this together. And I have neighbors that are Trump supporters, and I have neighbors that are Harris supporters. And quite frankly, we get along with all of them. And for the record, if you're looking at this video and you're saying, well, Nick, you're in a blue shirt, so clearly you're a Harris fan. This is my Dodgers jersey. They just won the World Series, so give me cut me some slack on that. I'm originally from LA. So by virtue of that, just everybody chill out. Everybody get good information. Everybody vet the information. And again, if it sounds so good to be true that it just absolutely proves that Harris or Trump is a total scumbag, step back, vet the information, because quite frankly, you might be wrong. And if you're watching these videos and you're seeing these videos, it's not the FBI, it's simply wrong. So I'll leave it at that. I think we're all a little on edge for this election, and quite frankly, we're going to get through it together. And don't let the worst of us dictate to the best of us. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And for the record, vote. That's all you can do. And stay safe and stay private. Take care.